Today's tutorial is on the kettlebell reverse lunge. I'm going to show you two variations. One is with the kettlebell in the rack position and the other is the kettlebell in the goblet hold position. The goblet hold position is easier for people who are just beginning kettlebell workouts, as sometimes the rack position can cause problems whenever maybe you don't have the experience there to remember certain key pointers about it. And not only that, but then the arm fatigues a lot quicker than the legs, so it means that if you're holding it in the goblet position, then you can handle a slightly heavier weight as the weight is spread between both arms, and it can afford you heavier for the legs, which is always more beneficial, because if we can't exercise the legs efficiently if we're relying on a weight that the arms can hold, because obviously there's a big difference there between upper body strength and lower body strength. So for those who are just starting out, it means that your arms are going to fatigue, and obviously the balance is going to be better as well, because there's one weight in the middle of the body rather than one weight to one side. So anyway, I'll run through the key pointers now of both variations. The first variation I'm going to teach is the kettlebell reverse lunge in the rack position. First of all, the kettlebell is on the floor, so we need to get it from the floor into the rack position, and for that we use the kettlebell dead clean, which I have already taught, just using my 12 today for teaching purposes. Once the kettlebell is in the rack position, then we position ourselves for the reverse lunge, which, as we know, is feet are hip width apart, facing forward. The head is facing forward, the eyes are facing forward, and you keep the back straight throughout. At this point, you can either counterbalance with your arm out or put the hand on the hip. It's up to you, whichever is easiest. Tighten the core, and usually on the side of the kettlebell is the side we're going to work. So my kettlebell is on the right hand side, so I'm going to step back on the left. At this point, I make sure that I'm balanced and I step backwards. When I'm in the lowest position of the reverse lunge, the elbow may migrate slightly out to the front, and that's fine, but keeping the back completely straight throughout, so I'm not tempted to bend forward as we're going to compromise the lower back. Oops. So from here, using the rear leg for support, I'm going to power up with my glutes and my quads and pull myself into position with my hamstrings. When I come forward again, or to the standing position, I squeeze my glute, bring my hip forward, and I can rest my elbow in to my side. This gives the arm a chance, the front of the shoulder, a chance to get a rest in between repetitions, so that the chances of my arm fatiguing before my legs is greatly reduced. Normally, you stick to one side, and then change sides. So it's such a light, this is lightweight, so it's a bit easier. From here, arm out, other side, I'm stepping backwards. Notice how I'm only using my rear leg for support. And that is the kettlebell reverse lunge in the rack position. Obviously, the way to advance that is to use two kettlebells, which obviously you need to use your double dead clean into position. Once in position, because you have equal weights on both sides, you can do the alternating reverse lunge, keeping the hands in nice and close to the chest, resting them on the hips in between repetitions. So, regaining your balance. After each repetition. And that is the kettlebell reverse lunge from the rack position. If you're saying, a way to modify it, or in fact actually, if you're just wanting to use a heavier weight for the legs, but say the arm can't handle it in the rack position for very long, then you can use the goblet squat or the goblet positioning for the kettlebell. And from this position, it allows you to either step back on the same leg for so many repetitions or so much time, or else you can use that opportunity with the kettlebell being central, the weight's evenly distributed over both legs, to use it within a time interval, and then just do maximum reps within that time interval, and using the alternating reverse lunge. So from here, we squat down and curl the kettlebell into position. Obviously, with having the large competition grade bell, I hold it bottoms up. But if you have a kettlebell with larger horns, you can hold it handle up if you wish. So whichever is more comfortable. Anyway, from here, feet hip width apart, keeping the elbows into the side, the shoulders back, heads up, nice and straight. The core is tight, and I'm keeping my eyes looking forward. From here, I'm going to step backwards, keeping the attention on my forward leg, remembering that the rear leg is only there to balance, and I push and pull up with my forward leg, alternating. Stepping straight backwards. If, for whatever reason, you find the balance difficult when you're stepping backwards, you can step outside to the side just to give yourself a wider base. But you must use your forward leg to do all the work. And basically that's it for the goblet hold, reverse lunge. Like I was saying, either alternate the movement or do one side and then the other. It's entirely up to you. So that's it for the kettlebell reverse lunge in the two variations. If you're a complete beginner and you've never done the reverse lunge before, then I refer you to my bodyweight reverse lunge video just to get a handle on it first before moving on to adding an extra load to your body, because the coordination and balance that's required is going to have you working hard in that respect without adding additional weight to the situation, so to speak. There's no point in making things too difficult too soon. Master the basics first and then progress. If you have any questions or queries, leave me a comment on my site, myomytv.com, and I'll be only too happy to answer them as soon as I can. So anyway, until next time, I will see you soon.